Traders, in this video, you're going to learn exactly how to find the strongest stocks to buy in the year 2026. I've worked with tons of new traders over the years. Most of them all make the exact same mistakes. They'll buy random blue chip stocks, take on full risk right away as soon as they get into the trade, and they don't necessarily have a plan for how to manage that trade. What you're going to learn how to do in this video that's going to set you apart from other traders is scan the market for outperforming strong momentum stocks, scale into them slowly with a plan, and know exactly when to sell based on what you see on the chart. Let's get right into it. So first and foremost, what we need to do in order to find these strong stocks in the year 2026 is use some kind of scanning or screening software. You can use thinkorswim, you can use eTrade Pro, you can use Trade Ideas most likely. Tons of different free options out there. Really, whatever you use does not necessarily matter because you're going to be able to put in the same or very similar criteria to find the same types of stocks regardless. So what I want to look for is going to be stocks that have a minimum price of $10 per share. This is going to filter out those highly volatile, highly risky penny stocks and set a base price. We also want there to be a minimum average volume of at least 1 million shares. This is to cut out the illiquid stocks that don't trade enough volume. We also want to see that the performance over the past month is at least 20% higher. This is to show us that there is fresh momentum and fresh strength in this stock. We also want to see a beta over 1. Beta is simply how a stock performs relative to the general market. So if it has a higher beta, it's going to be a more volatile stock. And we want to trade these stocks that do have a little bit more volatility because ultimately that is what's going to lead to the outperformance. And I would say that these 4 are kind of the base criteria that you should be using when scanning for these types of stocks. You can also add in some fundamental criteria like what we have here, EPS growth quarter over quarter of at least 30% and institutional transactions being positive. So for me, in order to find these stocks, I'm using finviz.com. They have a screener here. It is 100% free to use. And I've already went ahead and plugged in all of that criteria here into the screener. And in doing so, it narrowed the entire market down to just 17 total stocks. All 17 of these stocks are then going to be candidates for a potential swing trade or for a potential investment because they are not only strong, but they also have relatively strong fundamentals and institutions that are starting to back the stock price as well. Now that's only step 1 of this process. You don't want to just blindly buy any of these stocks just because they've had strength over the past month and just because institutions may be buying some of the shares. You still need to have a plan and you still need to know how to buy the stock in order to set yourself up for success. So what I mean by that is, for example, if we take a look at the chart here for SKYT, we can see does have that recent momentum, does have that recent strength, but it's all the way up here at $27. A couple of days ago, it was all the way down under $20. So it's ran, 30, almost 40% in the past couple of days, and it's all the way up to new highs. The RSI is most likely pretty overbought. So even though this has that momentum and it fits our criteria, we wouldn't want to just blindly buy into this stock as it's breaking out to new highs here. We would want to wait for some kind of consolidation, wait for a little bit of a lower volume pullback, something that's going to allow us to get a better risk and reward on this trade, rather than, again, just buying right as it's breaking out to new highs. So that being said, the next step here is to kind of scan through these charts very quickly, take a look at them, do a little bit of basic technical analysis, try to find some stocks that maybe are consolidating and forming a little bit of support near their recent highs. Maybe they're forming a bit of a bull flag. Whatever it may be, this is going to allow you to filter this down even further to find stocks that not only fit our criteria, but also have a technical setup that we can use to find a good trade in the stock. And for me, just taking a very quick look at these charts here, we can see that CCL, for example, has a little bit of resistance nearby, but it is consolidating near that resistance. And it actually has a little bit of a cup and handle formed just underneath that $32.50 to $33 resistance area. So what I would do is I would put this on a watch list and I would look for a potential breakout trade to catch that next leg up if this was able to start clearing above that resistance. And at any given point in time in the market, There may only be a few stocks that really fit all of your criteria and also have a technical setup that's worth trading, so your watch list should be relatively small before moving on to the next step of this process. And all of that being said, the next step in this process is, as we mentioned, most traders will tend to take on full risk right away as soon as they get into a trade, and that is something that we want to avoid completely so that we can properly manage our risk and manage our positions. So that being said, what we want to do is focus more on scaling in and out of our trades. What I mean by that is if we take a look here at these two charts, these are of course the same stock taken at the same time. The green dot here on the chart is representing where we are buying the stock. So let's just say that we went to buy into this stock and we had a maximum position size of, let's just say 100 shares. This example, we would be buying all 100 shares right off the bat. And we can see a couple of days later, has a breakdown underneath this moving average, closes underneath this moving average. And there is a possibility that you would have been stopped out there and had to take a loss on this trade on your entire full position if you bought all of them on this day. On the other hand, if you scale into your positions, you take entries slowly and space them out, you're able to not only get a better average cost for your trade, but you're able to take much smaller losses if it happens to hit your risk level anyway. So instead of maybe buying 100 shares all on one day, you might buy 25 shares that same day. A couple of days later, as it's pulling back, you might buy 25 more. As it consolidates a bit more and starts to reclaim the moving averages, you might start to buy 25 more and 25 more. And you're going to end up with that same 100 share position, but you're going to have a better average cost on the trade, and you're going to be taking on less risk as soon as you do get into the trade. So if it happened to break down and start selling off a few days after you entered into the position, you would be cutting losses on 25 shares rather than your full 100 share position. And that is one of the main reasons why I think that scaling in is really the only way that anyone should be trading. And unfortunately, most new traders do not do it this way at all. So if we actually jump over here to Thinkorswim and take a look here at the chart for the stock that was in that example, this was one of the best performing stocks over the year of 2025. So this is a great one to review and to take a look at going into 2026 to try to find these similar setups. And if we see here, this consolidation period right above the moving averages towards the end of September and at the beginning of October, this is where we had those buy marks on the screenshot. Let's just say that this is where we were buying the stock because it is consolidating and holding right underneath those highs. And it did have a strong bullish move to the upside prior to that. The next step of the process after you're in the position is, of course, to manage it and to make sure that you know when to sell. And as swing traders or investors, really our goal is to make sure that our winning trades outweigh our losing trades. We're not going to try to cut out our losing trades entirely because that is, simply put, very unrealistic. So instead, we just have to really try to maximize our returns when we do catch a nice winning trade. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to do that is to not sell your entire position right away, just like we're not entering into our entire positions right away either. So if I were buying into this consolidation and then, a couple of weeks later, we can see that the stock has a nice gap up following their earnings report. At this point in time, it has a little bit of an extension away from the 20-day moving average. The RSI is getting to be pretty overbought here, around 80. And you would have already had a really solid return from your investment. This would be a good point to maybe look to sell out of a portion of your shares. And the keyword here is portion. Again, we're not selling our entire position because we want to make sure that we're trying to maximize the return on this trade. So this is going to allow us to lock in some profits, take a little bit of risk off of the table while still holding on to a good chunk of our initial investment in case the trend continues to the upside. Now that leads to the question, when do you sell out of your entire position? And that for me is going to come down to moving averages. I like to try to keep a small portion of my position all the way until the stock starts to break down underneath the 20-day moving average. And we can see here that from the time this starts to pick up this momentum from our investment area, there was not a single day where this actually closed underneath this 20-day moving average that we have here on the chart. There were a few times where it tested that area and a few times where it actually briefly broke below, but there has not yet been a single time where a day has closed underneath that moving average. So for me, If this did start to break down underneath this 20-day moving average, that would be a great sign that the momentum might be starting to shift from the upside to the downside, and that would be the indicator that I would look for to actually sell out of my position and secure my profits on the trade. And really, this same concept can be applied to any stock with a lot of strength and a lot of momentum. They tend to respect their moving averages pretty well, and they tend to move with them as the trend progresses. So once they start to break below and close candles below those moving averages, that is where you can often look for a trend change and where you should look to secure some of your profits and take a lot of your risk off of the table for that trade. So anyway, those are some steps that you can use to find and invest in the strongest stocks in 2026. I hope you found some value in this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to trade with me in real time, get access to our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live custom scanner streams, and even our day trade and upcoming swing trade boot camps. Those can be found at Master the Market. There's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.